Welcome to my kitchen, and today we're going to do kitchen cleaning. So we're going to wash utensils, we're going to try to arrange the kitchen. It has been so disorganized. Now we're going to try and arrange everything. So you're most welcome. Join me in this process. So this is the setting of my kitchen. As you can see, the charcoal near the stove, or the charcoal stove, and then we are trying to carry some items from the kitchen outside so that it can give us room for us to clean the kitchen, since our kitchen is very small and it has been really so dirty because of the too much dust that always come in, the too much wind. So from there it makes the kitchen always dirty. Now we're trying to carry everything. We're trying to at least create space for us to clean everything so that at the end of the day the kitchen will be neat and good for us to be cooking in. So when the place is dirty and then you're trying to cook, it is not healthy. Now today, since we have time, we decided that we have to clean the kitchen. We started from the house, and then from now we're doing the kitchen. Here in South Sudan, especially in Juba, during the dry season, winds can be too much. Even you can sweep the house in the morning. By the time it reaches at around 10 or even 11 here, you find that the house is very dirty. And another reason as why we're cleaning, there are a lot of rats in the kitchen. But now, I don't know what kind of medicine do people use for killing the rats that are in your kitchen or in your house, because we have been trying several medicines. They even told us that one of the strongest medicine was the Last Supper. We should try to give the rats, but we even gave these rats, but it didn't work out. So what kind of medicine are you going to recommend for me so that at least these rats will not disturb? You see that you even wash utensils, you clean everything. By the time it reaches tomorrow morning, you'll find everywhere having drops of the rats, fishes, or how do they call it? Is it called fishes or what? So you can tell me in the comment section. So don't forget to recommend which medicine can I use for killing the rats so that my kitchen will be free from that. So back to our cleaning. So as you can see, we have tried to clean the other part of the store. That is where we store our food items. So we're trying to clean that side of the kitchen, that corner of the kitchen. So like me here and my sister, we're trying to do our part now, trying to sweep. After we're done with that, we can carry all those other things that are not necessary in the kitchen. So tell me where you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video to your loved ones. So if it is your first time, here we share African content, like if it is in the village, you'll find that drawers will be shared. In African villages, you'll find that drawers will be shared among, according to gender. You find that male will be doing the farm work. You'll be seeing that they're going to the farm, and then ladies will be doing the house chores, like maybe washing clothing, washing utensils, cooking, cleaning the house, cleaning the compound, making sure that by the time the men come back from the farm, at least there's something for them to eat, or there's water for them to go and shower. Since we are living in the town, though it is not a serious town, but at least we are living in an urban area. We don't have land for us to go and do the farming. So that is it. Now tell me in the comment section. Just like you can see here, we're trying to sweep the kitchen, still continue to clean that storage area of ours. found that the rats have eaten a lot of our food items that we have packed. For us, we can be stocking at some point. We stock food items like maybe maize, sorghum, cassava flour. So we stock it inside. Now at the end of the day today, when we started cleaning, we found that there's a lot. Now, as you can see, me and my sister, we're trying to remove nasty all of this bucket. That is what the rats have eaten. Now that is already dirty, we cannot use it again, so we're going to pour it out so that the chicken, the dogs, they can enjoy also. So after when we are done with that, we had to arrange the place, since because we have our drums that we use for pouring water. By the way, here in Juba, South Sudan, mostly people, there are no places whereby you can get water. There are always these water tanks that these cars that carry water. They move around the area, and then from there you call. Then if you see that you don't have water, you call. They come, they pour for you your water in your barrel. So these are our barrels for water. Now because of that, we don't want at some point for our food items to get wet, because when those people pour the water and then the items are like on the floor, they will always get wet. That's why we're putting those blocks and then the timber, so that it will even protect our food items from the water and even termites that might affect the food items. So tell me, how do people store your food items? Do people have fancy items that you use for storing, or you also do it like the way we are doing here in our home? So we're still trying to carry out these tables. As you can see how dirty they are. We have to go and remove these buckets, and then we have to try and clean it. Today it's really a busy day, a serious day. So as you can see here, at least now the kitchen is coming to shape. We have cleaned, we have tried to pour some water down so that it can reduce the dust. So as you can see, the kitchen is clean. Now the next thing we're going to do is to try and start cleaning our utensils. So at least now someone can even happily cook here. Someone can just, even when visitor comes home, you just say, wow, at least these people are clean at their home. But like if you see earlier, from the start, the kitchen was really so dirty. But now sometimes even you can clean, you clean today, by the time it reaches tomorrow, the kitchen will be in some different shape. Not because you're not maintaining it, but because of the conditions here in South Sudan. You find that the dust is too much. You try all in vain. So you can see everyone is trying to do work. My brothers and my dad, they're here trying to help us clean and even make for us our table very well, so that at least when we are packing other things on the table, others can be below the table. So they're trying to make for us clean. So you can see one thing also, we are just next to the road. That is a main road next to us, and then it is not tarmac. You see the dust. Just for example, what we see that black shaboy, all that dust. Even though you wash the utensils, still at the end of the day you find that it is affected with all that dust. So it's one of the challenges that we always face, since you're next to the road. Even also when the wind blows, it also affects. So for us here in our family, there's nothing like they can say, I'm a man or I'm a woman, I can do this kind of a thing. So when it's time for us to do work, whether a boy or a girl, if it's time for work, everyone does work. Sometimes even you find that our brothers, they can help us in the kitchen cook, they can even wash the dishes. Sometimes when we don't feel like doing work, we can even stay, they do the work. themselves. But you find out that in some African home, in some African homes or in some South Sudanese homes, they always say that that is work for women. So like for example, I was telling earlier that you use cars that carry water. Like for example, you see women, they are going, when you don't have water, you call, you say moyo, then from there the car comes moyo, that is water in Arabic, moyo. So you find that the kids will start shouting moyo, moyo, you want water, then the car come, they'll come for you water. Yeah, so I was saying there's nothing like you say I'm a man or I cannot do this kind of a thing. We always do the work. Everyone does the work. So when it's cleaning day, we clean. Everyone clean. Everyone can be busy. So we are done with the kitchen, like I've said. We are not doing the utensils. You can see we have a lot of utensils to be washed everywhere. So it is kind of too much, but we have to clean so that we can live in a clean environment. So this is it. You can see that my sister here, she's trying to clean, wash the utensils, as I had carried some to the kitchen to put them to dry, because we don't want to leave them outside, to dry them from out. When we dry them from out, still it's going to get dirty again because of the dust. Since they have not dried, they are still kind of wet. That's why we prefer to put it in the kitchen, so that at least when we close the door of the kitchen, the dust will not go too much into it. Now if you're someone who is planning or thinking of visiting or moving to Juba, South Sudan, you know the cost of living is kind of high depending on the area that you live in, because you'll find that some areas the price of an item in a particular area can be twice in some areas. So the best thing that you can do is, like when it comes to food items, it's better when you have the money, you can stock them in your house so that it can last for you at least like for 2 to 3 weeks, like for those things that are not perishable, like the beans, flour, others, fasholia, and name it. So when you can stock even rice, you can stock them inside and for 2 to 3 weeks, so that it can help you save some money. Then you'll maybe keep on buying the perishable items like the vegetables, the tomatoes and onions. Even sometimes you can buy the onions that are not, you can check how they are, the condition of the onions, so you can buy some that can last for some time. So at least there you can be able to save money. But if you buy on a daily basis, there's a lot of cost that will be incurred, the transport cost when you're going to the market. Some people live far from the market. You have to always go because of the too much heat. Sometimes even the heat can go up to 35 or even 40 degrees Celsius. So now imagine you moving for a distance of maybe 3 to 4 kilometers. You're going to the market and you're walking. So by the time you come back home, you'll be so tired, exhausted. Even when it's time for you to cook, it will find you when you're so tired. So when you stock your items, it can help. And then also when it comes to rent, you find that it's kind of expensive in some areas. You can find that apartments can go for, those good nice apartments can go like from 200 to maybe even 1000 USD. It just depends where you are and where the location. So but you can find that there are also some rokubas. So those ones whereby you find they use clay or mud to make those houses, or they even use iron seed. The roof with iron seed, and then even the wall or the whatever of the house, all from down up to down, from up to down, is all what use they build using iron seed, or they even use bamboo for building the house. Like you roof your house with your iron seed, and then from there the wall you use some bamboo, and then from inside you can use some wood like this one, the one they always use for making ceiling boards. You can use those soft boards to cover inside for you to make for yourself that rokuba. You'll find that those ones, if you're renting, it can be like maybe 200 or 300 SSP. So that is around like maybe 30 or maybe 40 or $50, just around there. So you can rent those ones also. It will depend on your salary. You know, also the rate of unemployment in South Sudan is very high. You'll find that a lot of people have graduated but there are no jobs. So people are just trying to hustle, but sometimes you even hustle, you don't find anything. What you find in a day, you can even spend it that very day, because it is very hot. You want to drink water, you want to have money for your transport, you want to have money for your food. So sometimes even the money you get, or the one you get from that casual work of yours, you end up spending it in one day, because of the what the living expenses, or the expenditure that occurs. So you can see we're still in the process of cleaning our utensils. So at least we have reached 50% of our cleaning, though there's a lot of dishes that are still waiting for us. But at least we have done our best. We are trying to speed up, because currently it is now like 6 p.m. That is South Sudan time. Like if it is the East African time, that is already 7. But we're still struggling to clean these items, and we have to also prepare supper. But we don't want today people to eat in a dirty environment, or to have the environment clean, so that at least everyone will enjoy. We started early morning. The whole day today we have just been cleaning the houses, we've been washing clothing, we have been doing general cleanings today. So this is it.
Kasih lagi mau kade.
Yeah. Mana pun dia nak kara welcome nala.
Kile inde nyoka. Tadi kada kaca. Kile inde dekat. Sila ke kana tua hiyo. Ni mizu gila. Na ngata kisi. Ani ngata kisi ari kila ajibu sela. Sasa kita leo mizu.
Taruh harga baca weh. Taruh aku di baca.
Baca Kadoria.
Wah kepikir cinta ke sih bu. Oh sukun. Sekarang tu berzabat tak? Lagi lagi. Lagi berzabat tak? Sekarang tu berapa jadi sekarang tu? Berapa jadi? Lizu tak kuat jadi sekarang. Lizu ini.
Ada Lizu jadi.
Arfa kuat jadi sekarang jadi berzabat tak kuat jadi. Mungkin Arfa kuat jadi. Baca apa?
Saya kalau aku dari Arfa kuat jadi sih.
Dari situ ada kasur rahu kan rajin
Ya kan berzabat tak kuat jadi.
kebi ya ina indi de
Kising.
de sukia
Siapa siapa?
Wajar hanya na raja ilang la waru. Bebe nya kada ya. Sangga. Ena antene. Ena antuwela. Ina de kalmi. Na wana. Ena antuna ya de giza.
Wana wewe.
Aja deh begata ida tak. Ana betul bukan. Ana dua di letak kuyam. Ana ya habis.
Dan sih kising saja tu berzabat tak kuat jadi. Bukan kuat jadi tapi ya sok berzabat tak kuat jadi. Ya baru berbaca arah. Kau bilang nanti. Kau berdoa. Sampai kau berdoa.
Jadi